grab your mug and tighten your tinfoil hat. Broadcasting live from somewhere under the Denver airport, it's the Grounds of Reality with your host, Alix Jowens.
Well, all right, here we go. This is it, the very first broadcast of the Grounds of Reality. I'm your host, Alix Jowens, bunker broadcaster, espresso survivalist, and the only man in America who's been awake long enough to see the patterns forming. If you're tuning in for the first time, which is everybody, because this is the first time, this show is where we take what's happening in the world and we roast it. Slow, low, medium dark, headlines, markets, politics, all the stuff you're supposed to just accept. Not here. Oh no, here we ask why the dots connect themselves when the lights go out. And today, November 18th, 2025, the dots are practically screaming. We've got a surprise crypto bounce. We've got Cloudflare taking a nap and dragging the internet with it. And politically, they're throwing elbows in Washington like it's the world's worst pickup basketball game. Let's brew this thing. All right, folks, let's dive straight into this crypto roller coaster we just lived through today, November 18th, 2025. According to CoinDesk, Bitcoin and Ethereum staged what they're calling a modest rebound earlier this afternoon. A modest rebound? Really? If that rebound were any less modest, we'd have to invite it to Thanksgiving dinner. Now, for those who didn't catch it, Bitcoin clawed back a chunk of the weekend losses, moving just enough to make every retail trader say, okay, maybe I'm not broke. And Ethereum tagged along like a little brother trying to prove he can lift weights too. But here's where it gets interesting. The spike in buy pressure began at exactly 3:17 a.m. Mountain Time. Why is it always Mountain Time? Look, most people were asleep. I was awake, obviously, because my bloodstream is basically 60% espresso, but normal humans weren't awake. And yet, right in that off-hour window, old wallets woke up. Dormant wallets. Wallets that hadn't moved since 2018. You ever see something sit still for 7 years and then suddenly spring to life? That's not trading, that's a resurrection. And of course, the analysts call this algorithmic behavior. No kidding. But whose algorithm? Whales. The big ones. These wallets don't nibble. They devour. And every time a major rebound happens in the dead of night, they leave footprints. And get this. Blockchain observers noticed a cluster of transactions routed through nodes tied to Singapore, Zurich, and a data hub right here in Colorado. That's not coincidence. That's coordination. And if you overlay that activity with the internet disruptions we'll talk about in the next segment, the timing overlaps like two pieces of Velcro. So, was today's crypto rebound really a spontaneous market correction? Or was it an orchestrated tune-up, the kind you run before a bigger move? Folks, I'm telling you, somebody flipped a switch. And whenever these markets move in unison before dawn, the story is bigger than price charts. Anyway, enjoy the green charts while they last. I have a feeling this wasn't a recovery, it was a test pattern. All right, that's where we'll leave the markets for now. Crypto woke up at a strange hour, old wallets crawled out of the attic, and something definitely nudged the charts when most people weren't looking. But that's just one mystery today. Because while the markets were bouncing, the internet itself was having a meltdown of its own. When we come back, we're diving into the Cloudflare outage that sent half the web into timeout. Stick around. You're listening to the Grounds of Reality, fueled by Whole Shot Coffee. We'll be right back after this short break. Now, let's talk about today's digital earthquake. The Cloudflare outage that knocked half the internet sideways. According to The Verge and Cloudflare's own status page, a software deployment issue caused widespread slowdowns, connection failures, and temporary outages across major apps and services. A software issue. And every time my coffee grinder explodes, I call it a mechanical miscommunication. Folks, Cloudflare handles 20 to 25% of all global web traffic. That's like the circulatory system of the internet. You don't just bump the internet like a kitchen table. You've got to pull the right lever at the right time with the right level of confidence or stupidity. Their official explanation: a routine deployment caused an unforeseen cascade. Yeah, unforeseen. Like when I unforeseen the dozen espressos I consume before breakfast. Look closer. The outage window, according to Cloudflare itself, overlaps almost perfectly with the crypto rebound we talked about earlier. Perfectly. Outages began roughly around the same hour. Large dormant wallets started moving. Now that is weird, because it means either A, the universe is messing with us, B, someone was running a system stress test, or C, the engineers found the global internet off switch and wanted to see what happens when you tap it. And you know what else? Reports came in from network engineers on X claiming the outage affected routing tables in ways they've never seen before. Never seen before. When global internet pipes clog at the exact same time whales start shifting assets, something bigger is brewing. This wasn't a glitch. This was a signal. Maybe someone pushed an update. Maybe someone was probing stability. Maybe someone needed the network unstable while a specific transaction batch slipped through unnoticed. Whatever it wasn't random. And if the official explanation doesn't pass the smell test, that's because the beans are over-roasted. All right, that's enough digital chaos for one day. So what does all of this mean? It means the internet had a bad hair day, and somebody, somewhere, probably knows more than they're telling us. But hey, that's just one piece of today's puzzle. When we come back, we're diving into the other circus tent, politics, because, oh, buddy, the last few days have been spicy. Stick around. You're listening to The Grounds of Reality, fueled by Whole Shot Coffee. We'll be right back after this short break. All right, let's wander over into the briar patch of American politics, the one topic that raises my blood pressure faster than a double-shot espresso. And trust me, that's saying something. Over the last few days, according to reporting from Reuters, lawmakers have been firing off press conferences, late-night statements, and procedural stunts like they're competing in some kind of high-stakes performance art competition. And I gotta say, if politics were scored like gymnastics, half of them would be disqualified for dramatic flailing. But here's the part that caught my attention. Almost everything major that happened over the weekend happened after dark. Late-night votes, midnight amendments, press briefings at times when normal humans are asleep and only owls, insomniacs, and coffee-addicted bunker dwellers like myself are awake. Why late at night? Why now? Now, Reuters highlighted a flurry of budget negotiations, foreign aid discussions, and a couple of high-profile committee scuffles. Nothing unusual on the surface. But when you line up the timing of the political noise with the timing of the Cloudflare outage and with the crypto rebound, all three happened in overlapping windows. That's the part that gets me. When politics gets extremely loud, extremely fast, it usually means something quieter is happening in the background. Something behind the camera. Something behind the curtain. Happens every time. They'll spend all day yelling about a bill, but slip the real changes into page 400 and something while everyone is distracted. And this weekend? Perfect setup. A major internet infrastructure failure, plus strange crypto movements, plus late-night political theatrics? Folks, that's the kind of combo you get when someone's trying to grease the gears without anyone noticing. Now, am I saying lawmakers intentionally coordinated their chaos with the outages and the market weirdness? No, of course not. That would be irresponsible. I'm just saying if they did coordinate, it would look exactly like this. Politics in 2025 is less about passing laws and more about creating noise. A fog machine of endless commentary, carefully timed to make sure you look left while something on the right quietly changes shape. And the more I look at this weekend, the more fog I see. All right, that's enough political fireworks for today. But all these stories, the politics, the outages, the markets, they stack on top of each other like mismatched puzzle pieces that somehow still form a picture. When we come back, I'll wrap up today's pilot episode and leave you with a few thoughts from the bunker before we sign off. You're listening to The Grounds of Reality, fueled by Whole Shot Coffee. Stick around. More coming up after this short break. Before we wrap up tonight's pilot broadcast, I want to take a second and talk about something I'm genuinely fired up about. Whole Shot Coffee has stepped in as the very first official sponsor of The Grounds of Reality. Not just for this episode, but for the long haul. Now listen, I'm not the kind of guy who slaps his name on something unless he believes in it. But Whole Shot Coffee? These folks roast their beans like they're tuning a race bike. Precision, patience, and absolutely zero shortcuts. And if you've ever wondered how a man broadcasts from a bunker under the Denver airport without blinking for 14 straight hours, yeah, this is the octane right here. I'm pretty sure half of my bloodstream is espresso at this point. Whole Shot Coffee supports riders, racers, creators, and now this entire show. They're backing us so we can bring you real conversations, real commentary, and a whole lot of uncomfortable coincidences. Grab a bag at WholeShotCoffee.com. Try it. Trust me, you'll taste why they're our first major sponsor. Now, let's bring this pilot episode home. All right, folks, here we are. The end of the very first episode of The Grounds of Reality. And if tonight was any indication, we're going to have one wild ride together. We broke down the crypto rebound, the Cloudflare chaos, the political circus, and somehow they all linked up like three puzzle pieces from entirely different boxes. And before we go, I want to give a shout out to the folks making this show possible behind the scenes. Because Grounds of Reality isn't just some random bunker broadcast. It's part of the Sen B'Hiro Mediaverse, the same caffeinated comedy universe bringing you the Daily Brief, Tina Bean, and all the madness in between. And if you want to help power what we're building here, the satire, the shows, the characters, the chaos, then check out the SENB Token. It's the community-driven fuel that keeps this whole media machine running. Plus, owning a little SENB might just get you closer to the bunker than you think. All right, that's going to do it for tonight. Thank you for being here for episode 1. I'm honored, truly. I'm Alix Jowens, broadcasting from somewhere under the Denver airport, reminding you to stay caffeinated, stay alert, and stay suspicious. Good night, everybody.
You've been listening to The Grounds of Reality with your host, Alix Jowens. Brought to you by Whole Shot Coffee, coffee that fuels champions. This broadcast is a production of the Sen B'Hiro Mediaverse, where satire never sleeps and neither do the hosts. Featuring characters from across the B'Hiro universe: Sen B'Hiro, Tina Bean, Alix Jowens, and the mysterious forces that run the Denver airport. To support the show and join the community, check out the SENB Token, powering the creators, the chaos, and the content. Thanks for tuning in, and remember, stay caffeinated, stay curious, stay just a little suspicious. We'll see you on the next episode.